Did you know that you can engineer a plant to have memory and think like a computer, which sounds wild the first time I heard it, because we are kind of making plants intelligent and anything can be a computer, but this is very important right now, and the field has made a lot of progress. Now your first question might be the same as mine, which is why? Why do we want intelligent plants? Well, we have a very big problem. You can think whatever you want about climate change, but the climate is changing. We are having hotter seasons, shorter winters, and less rain or more rain, depending on where you live. Unfortunately, us humans set up shop in the climate that we have had as relatively stable. I mean, relatively. Y'all remember the Dust Bowl. I don't personally, but I know it happened. Starting in about the 1980s, we have seen our wheat crops continuously go down. We really haven't recovered, and that is a major problem, and it's not only limited to wheat. We're also having serious problems with corn, and we kind of need corn and wheat. It's a lot of what we eat. Unfortunately, crops are also susceptible to climate. Yes, we can genetically engineer crops to be resistant to heat, or need less water, or even resistant to fungal infection. That is possible, but we're not very good at replicating what is seen in nature. When we engineer a gene, it's often just on, and that means that crop is going to be specialized for one particular condition, and it's not going to be hardy to other conditions, but there is a solution to turn it into a computer. Which is actually what these guys did. They created intelligent plants. They put a switch inside of a plant that's capable of turning on and off, but also of saying and. So if a condition is present, the gene will be on. If the condition is present with another condition, it might be on. It depends on what you want. And in this way, you can create a circuit. This circuit can remember the conditions that it's already experienced, and then you can have, well, intelligent plants. Oh, but this idea has moved into other fields, because this is something you can do with bacteria or human cells. And yes, human cells have been applied to computation a lot in recent days. I'm a really big fan of brain organoids. You know, the tiny human brains you can grow in a literal jar if you want to, and have run computation. This means that you can use life to run a computer, but it can also be used in production, things like antibiotics or biofuels, things that are hardier to the environment and can actually think. And no, it's not thinking exactly like a brain, but it does think quite similarly to a computer. This is a very weird subject because it gets into information theory, but we're not entirely sure what thinking is. Yes, we kind of have this brain and we're pretty sure that how the information flows in it results in consciousness, but not totally sure. When we consider thinking on behalf of single-celled organisms, it does get to the point of being absurd, but the truth is we really do not have a good explanation for the difference, and part of that is because this is fundamentally not a scientific question. It's not something that anyone can answer with empirical study. It's a philosophical question. So until a bacteria says, "Hi, I'm here, hello, I have thoughts," we're never really going to be able to say anything about them. We already know that computers can do the very same thing, and we have already decided that it's kind of absurd to consider consciousness in them too. It's just weird, because now we're giving the capacity to think to other organisms that we never should have considered it to be in. And I do want to make this very clear because it's something that bothers me a lot. Not knowing is not reason to apply a metaphysical answer or any answer. It's okay to say, I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. Maybe we won't. But a lot of these mechanisms are already in cells. We wouldn't be able to harness them if they weren't. Just the processes for which a computer uses to decipher information is also present in our cells and also present in our brains. And yes, reprogramming human cells has a whole ton of medical applications. The sky is the limit here, because now you can reprogram human cells, you can tell them what to do in the body, you can turn them into nanobots that have a job like going after cancer or interacting with other cells. It's a very exciting field to be in for medicine. And yes, I'm sure there's a whole bunch of nefarious stuff you could imagine for it, but it is still exciting. I think the message here is that you can turn anything into a computer, including a plant. And also, we have a very concerning failing crop system with the changing climate, and we don't talk about it enough. I hope you've enjoyed this. Follow for more.